Is the new hybrid CX-50 worth it? We're showcasing the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid Premium Plus in Soul Red Crystal Metallic over black and brown leather. I'm going to compare this against the competition. I'm going to throw in some pros and cons and a problem that I have with the new hybrid CX-50. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. The front, it's going to be just as dynamic as any Mazda CX-50. So I like that because typically when you start going into hybrid variants, they change the configuration so it just doesn't look as dynamic. Mazda keeps it on point. It does lower the clearance to 7.8 inches. So it has a little bit lower of a stance. Premium Plus gets steering response LED headlights. Otherwise, underneath that, you will not get it with standard LED daytime runnings that wraps around the honeycomb grille, carrying on with the gloss black except for the badge. Because this is the Premium Plus, kind of wish that they maybe blackened it out, or you know what, just make it the Soul Red. That way it looks a little bit more athletic, or give us the blue like Toyota, because underneath the hood is going to house the same powertrain that's shared with them. That's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid with a combined of 219 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque paired to an eCVT transmission, achieving 39 mpgs for the city and 37 mpgs for the highway, which now when I'm thinking about Honda, this is going to be better. The same thing with Kia and Hyundai. 19-inch wheels because we're in the Premium Plus, otherwise 17-inch wheels. Only 3 trims to choose from, so that definitely is a con. Because with the way they do the configuration on the hybrid trim, if you just go into the Premium, you pretty much unlock everything. Power folding side view mirrors, heated side view mirrors, but when you go into the Premium Plus, what do they add? On the driver's side only, auto dimming side view mirror. So not a huge difference. You do get these upgraded wheels, 1,500 pounds of towing max on all 3 trims. The fenders flare out regardless what trim you choose. But if you go into the turbo variant, I like the Meridian Edition because you're going to get graphics on the hood. You'll have a platform on the roof rails that you can fit 350 pounds, and towing is up to 3,500 pounds. Non-turbo is at 2,000 pounds, but compare this against Toyota Honda, this is going to be better in towing capability. So don't necessarily disqualify the capabilities because it's actually a lot more so even with the drive. Mazda goes a step up because you're getting a double wishbone front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension. None of the competition is going to do that at these prices and its standard all-wheel drive system. The rear gets combination LED taillights, the lower gets smaller dual exhaust finishers. Because this was all new last year, you don't need too much of a refresh. I'm liking that they have given us a hybrid, but then in the same aspect, it could be a con because they're adding that eCVT transmission. Now it is actually relatively bulletproof, and the engine itself. So when I'm thinking about Toyota, it already beats it in class because it's less money than a RAV4. You're getting just as good of MPGs, better towing capabilities, plus the ride of Mazda, so it's a little bit more dynamic, smoother, and quieter than pretty much everybody in class. That's why I feel like Mazda, they're just missing a few things. Just give us a little bit extra instead of 3 or 36,000 miles. Maybe just a touch better in the materials, even though it's premium, and then it would be right on par with luxury variants. And if you're thinking about the turbo variant, this is getting over 10 mpgs more to the city, 8 mpgs more to the highway. So this is definitely going to knock it out of the ballpark, and pricing is going to be right at the same if you're going top tier to top tier. Power liftgate going into 29.2 cubic feet of storage, which is 2.2 cubic feet less than the non-hybrid. You have a 12-volt charger, LED interior lights, a couple areas here on the side. Underneath the floor gets a spare tire. The best part about these vehicles, you can split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split, and now a maximized cargo to 56.3 cubic feet. The key fob to the CX-50 Hybrid Premium Plus. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver. 6-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. Heated, ventilated leather seats. I like the contrast stitch. It'll be a leatherette mixture going into the preferred. The Premium will have heated seats, leather seats, and that will start with the power seat for the passenger. Memory for the driver. The stitch work continues on into the passenger side, keeping a sporty design. 8 speakers is standard on the preferred. 12 speakers through Bose goes into the Premium. All trims get a 10.25 center screen. Let's fire it up. Dual climate control settings is standard across the board, and I like that we still have physical buttons. They do a good job with that. A 12-volt charger here. You have a little storage tray here with the cup holders in front. Rotary knob for that infotainment screen that has navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, Sirius XM. That's going to start on the Premium. Put it into reverse, and we get a reverse camera. The trajectory does not expand, and it doesn't cover up the whole screen. You don't receive any heads-up display, but you get an auto-dimming rear view mirror on the Premium. The Premium Plus adds the home link. You also get the traffic sign recognition. That's really the only difference between the two trims. It's going to be soft to touch, opens up as a 2-tier with 2 USB-C ports, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket. Wireless charging pad that starts on the Premium trim. MI driving modes. You have a total of 3 different driving modes, starting with Power, Normal, and Trail. This 7-inch informational display can go through an array of different content for the driver, so it will change out depending on the driving modes that you are in. It will make it look a little bit more sporting. With a leather-wrapped steering wheel, it's heated because we're in the Premium Plus multi-function. Leg space is more than enough. Pano moonroof that starts on the Premium trim. LED interior lights, or map lights is what it's called, as well as a sunglass holder. Headroom does a pretty good job carving it out. Door panel and dashboard connect together, and the sporty vibe stays alive with the way the air vents are structured. I like that they pay attention to detail, and it's soft to touch everywhere. One touch up and down for all the windows with a long storage pocket. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more with the cup holders and armrests. USB-C ports and air vents in the center with storage only behind the passenger seat. Those USB-C ports, that starts on the Premium. Now the door gets stripped of the materials up here, but it's still soft right in here with almost the same size storage pocket. Sitting behind me, you're gonna have plenty of leg space. Headroom, it's quite good. It doesn't really bulge inwards or outwards, so I kind of like that, but I wish it would go up a little bit more. I'm at 6'3". Sliding into the center, feet space is gonna be shared, but the rails are pushed up. Butt and leg space is not going to be too compromised unless this seat is back in a different position. Then my knees are going to be pretty much against it. It's the same thing with me in the driver's seat. Headroom starts getting a little bit more compromised. Sharing the same powertrain as the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, which gives us a combined of 219 horsepower. But the twist, when you go Toyota, you get 176 pound-feet of torque. Here you're getting 163 pound-feet of torque. So you will lose some capabilities, but then for the change, you are getting softer materials in the interior, a better suspension, more quiet in the cabin. Turn radius to start us off is about 2 lanes. We got it in sport mode or power. Let's rock and roll. Now it does feel a lot heavier than a standard CX-50 turbo. If you go to the non-turbo, it's going to be similar, but then the engine also escalates in the interior. The sound deadening could be a lot better there, but then on the pricing, they are the least in class compared to everybody. It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros to see if it's worth it. The aesthetics in the interior is more premium than anybody in class. The technology is good enough. You go into the Premium trim and you get 12 speakers through Bose, which is a lot better than the JBL sound system. And I know people in the comments might say that they like that better, but hey, to each its own. And it's gonna match Honda, but it's going to be better in MPGs, towing capabilities. But then in the interior, you will be losing headroom and legroom compared to Honda, Hyundai, and Kia, which will take me to some cons. Non-touchscreen infotainment, but that's not going to be the case in any of the competition. Yes, when you're using your wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, it does change the functionality. We do have a heads-up display, and it's just a touch over 40 grand, but come on. You have to go into the middle trim to unlock features, and ultimately that is the sweet spot to get, because when you go into the Premium Plus, it only adds maybe 4 or 5 features. Standard all-wheel drive, that's not going to be the case when you go into competition. But it leads me to the problem that I have, and that's what this is. It's going. Not as quick as a Tacoma. And I'm not expecting it to be NASCAR or an F1. I understand I'm doing a trade-off because I want better MPGs, but I want the quality of Mazda with the suspension and the interior and the technology and the safety. But I still need some performance, and that is a huge problem because it feels heavy when you're mashing on the gas, it feels heavy when you're mashing on the brake, which that's not going to be the case when you go to Hyundai, Honda, or Kia. Now, even Toyota feels a little bit more sound, and it's not to do with a little bit more in the torque area. I do like how quiet it stays for the majority of the ride though. Just when you're going light to light, you will be hearing more of that lawnmower or drone type of engine, which there's nothing to go around that. It's, you know, a trade-off that you're going for when you're wanting to get all of those MPGs. So is it better than the competition? In a lot of cases it is. They do need to do a few tweaks to make it the best. Is it worth it? I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, membership, live stream, website, TikTok, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank our friends here at Coast Mazda for giving us this 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid Premium Plus for our car review.